Give me back my knife!
Hello, UNI Panther fans and Overwatch fans alike. Welcome to the NECC playoffs. Today, we are featuring the Rumble in the Jungle as the 4th seed Mizzou Club Bengal Tigers face off against the 5th seed UNI Panthers. Today, I'm joined with the co-host with the mo-host, Joe. How you doing today, Joe?
Hey, I like that intro. I'm doing well, Hunter. How about you?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited for today's matchup. You know, the first year that the UNI Panthers, both purple and gold team, play in the NECC, they make it to the playoffs. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. Getting to this point definitely requires a little bit of you know, a lot of teamwork and a good team. So hopefully we're going to see some good matches today. Hopefully it's not too one-sided either way, and there's some back and forth. And I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. And both of these teams, you know, on paper are very well matched and very, very similar on the skill based level. UNI, who went in their round robin during the regular season, went 4-2 with an 18-6 map differential, whereas the Mizzou Club Bengals went 5-1 with a 16-5 map differential. So Mizzou Club had their only loss where they were 3-0'd by the second seed in this tournament, UND Green, whereas UNI, both of their losses have been in game fives against Grandview and Cornell. So very similar stacked odds that we have here.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to today, Joe?
I don't know. The Roadhog, I'll say in quotes, rework did just come out. Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Why don't you go ahead and do you have that pulled up?
Yeah,
Can
so
you maybe
he
talk about that?
got a couple changes, not a ton of changes. I'd say first and foremost, he got a little bit of a health increase from 450 to 500 base health. Or excuse me, that's not his health, that's his take a breather. Some people call it his vape. That got a 50 health
Yeah.
increase. And it got a little bit of increase in damage reduction too, as well as its duration reduced. So when you pull it out, it would go from 3 seconds, now it's going 2.5 seconds, and its recharge time is reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. So am I looking at? Yeah, I am. But he also got some other changes. So I'd say most notably, he got something called the pig pen, which is kind of like a Junkrat trap, but
Hmm.
not. Um, I don't know. I haven't seen it in game. I've only read about it. I've not played in a week or two, admittedly. But it like puts down a trap that slows you and damages you, and uh, I don't know. That's about it.
Yeah, no, kind of looking at the same notes you are, Joe. I mean, the pig pen, the kind of way that you can kind of think of it is it's very much of a zoning kind of like Junkrat trap, even though it doesn't necessarily trap someone in it, but it does slow them down. It does give them additional damage per second, the more time they're in there. So it's especially going to be used in those choke scenarios where we see, you know, either on Hollywood, in the Arch, or, on Lijiang Tower, on those entrances. So it does, strangely enough, make Roadhog, I can't believe I'm saying this, making Roadhog a very viable, and I don't know if we'll see some today.
Yeah, I don't know either. It looks like, by the way, we are, for our first map, going to Antarctic Peninsula. Can you just, you can see the stream on Discord, correct?
Yes, correct.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so, I'll tell you, personally, this map is not my favorite control map, these series of 3 maps. But we'll see how it pans out here. Looks like Mizzou's running with a Sigma, Bastion, Mei, Lucio, and Bap, and UNI is running with a Sigma, Bastion, Genji, Bap, and Ilari.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at some of these names, and I've haven't seen these players before, and it's just so exciting. And with this matchup, they're kind of similar, but very different in a lot of ways. But here we go, the start to the NECC playoffs.
Yeah, and UNI do have a little bit of a change here. Well, it's the same as last week. They're putting Skip on tank. Normally Skip is running healer, but he is going to be tank today. He's going to be going straight out of the gate on Sigma here, trying to make some space for his team.
And that was a nice dodge right out of the barrier put up by Anarchy. But sadly, Vandium's going to go down in very quick succession, and already Lamp has to be used out for UNI, so definitely a lot of high space here taken by UNI.
Oh man, Unlasting getting in there with the Genji, trying to get that reflect on the Bastion, but it's not enough as Roadkill and Bailey Joe go down. UNI's going to have to pull out of here, I think. Unlasting finds a pick, but he goes down too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just maybe want to fight on the point a little bit more, get a couple charge up, and then, just give up the point and kind of reconvene. But as we see here, Skip's going to try and get the pick on Anarchy, but can't quite get the value on that. So in this first initial fight, what did you see, Joe?
I think that Mei wall coming out at the start there from side of Mizzou kind of screwed up UNI's push a little bit here, but really quick, we're seeing a Sigma ult go down and countering this BAP window. UNI doing their best to stop Mizzou from keeping this point for too long. Mizzou's up to 25%. It's ticking. Bailey Joe goes down. Let's see what UNI can pull out here. Skip goes down too.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate set of circumstances UNI finds themselves in as Vandium now goes down. It's just one of those cases where I think Skip was playing a little bit too aggressively, but rightfully so, because he was trying to zone out the Baptiste window and, had a nice gravitic flux. Didn't get any value on that, sadly, because of the disc. So it's really tough, but hopefully this next re-engage, they'll be able to find something. They still got a couple more fights left.
Yeah, and Hunter, I want to point out, Mizzou's doing a really good job of keeping this high ground here, as they do find a pick on Unlasting's Genji. That's going to be rough for UNI's push, because he did have his blade up, and UNI members are just falling left and right. If they want to get this first point, they've got to group up and make something happen soon.
Right, and the first point is just so important with the momentum swing. But Vandium is able to get the pick, and they have 3 ultimates that they are able to use in this scenario. So hopefully they can get some value, consequently. Mizzou Club is going to have their ultimates that they're going to be able to use. So it's who's ever going to get that most value. So we're kind of going into this fight as we see 2 ultimates already coming out from the side of Mizzou. And here comes Vandium now with the tire. He's going to try and sneak back around and gets nothing from it. And with that, 3 quick succession downs by UNI, and even though overtime's ticking over, Vandium's going to try and get the kill on Kabuki. Can't get it, and Mizzou Club is going to take map 1.
Yeah, you hate to see it. That was a really rough first round for UNI. They kind of got shoved off on that first offense and didn't trickle the whole time, but definitely had some trickling issues, where they weren't able to fully group up and push as a team. And I think that Mei on the side of Mizzou Bengals, that really screwed up UNI's push several times.
Yeah, it really did. And, maybe some of it has to do with like the early, this is the first time you're seeing this team. You don't know how to play around this team. Or it just could be the case of, everyone's just not coordinated and they need to communicate a little bit more, not get frustrated, and hopefully come out with the second map.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the one that they're moving on to now, I like this one a little bit more, a little bit less choke pointy than that first one, if you ask me. We'll see how it goes, though. I mean, like this right here, this is a really big choke, but you kind of can't, you don't have all that hard natural cover that you do on that last point that we were looking at with Mizzou holding that high ground behind those barriers. It's tough to push past that.
Yeah, it is, and already UNI using up a lot of resources, already used the disc, and that goes down. Of course, Broly finally takes out Bailey Joe, so the support for UNI, the healing, not quite there, as Mizzou Club is going to go ahead and start to tick over that capture point, but doesn't get it. There it goes. There it finally goes. But UNI so far backed up in quite literally the corner of the map and can't find to do whatever they want to do right now.
Yeah. We're going to have to probably see UNI do a little bit of a regroup here. So all 5 members of UNI are there. They're going to try to push through this choke, and it's just going to be pretty tough. See the rock come out from Skip there. Not able to land, and we see both Sigmas trade rocks, and the BAP window comes out, shreds this May wall. There's the Alari ult. It's not able to find any value. It hits that Sigma shield, unfortunately.
Yeah, so hopefully...
Mizzou's May ult. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, you're perfectly fine. But right there, Kabuki is going to take down Skip, so there again, you know, just the value that UNI is not able to muster right now, like you kind of mentioned, Joe, you know, with the use of Roadkill's Baptiste window and Bailey Joe's Alaria ult, just it hasn't worked, and right now Mizzou Club is just pressing the attack.
Yeah. And Mizzou Club has 4 ults that they're ready to use. Sojourn and Lucio are not quite up yet, but they'll be up here pretty soon. But UNI also has 3 ults. So there's the BAP window from Mizzou. We see UNI's Gravitic Flux come out. It's going to hit a bunch of people on Mizzou, but not find any kills. We hear a blade come out from Unlasting. That beat drop by Mizzou protected their team. Not able to find any picks for UNI here as their push gets shut down once again.
Yeah, I again, and you know, this is just me personally seeing this back in, you know, as a third-person perspective. I'm not in there, but I really did think that the engagement with the Flux was a little bit tough, considering that, you know, they always still have that Baptiste disc that they have to worry about. And, you know, because UNI wasn't able to, you know, take down that disc or, you know, nullify the utility kits of the healers, I think that's kind of what's cost them this first map. Or I guess this first map in the series.
Yeah, I agree. It seemed, at least to me, that like, there was a little bit of a disconnect between the 3, like the tank and the DPS and the healers. Like both DPS were working together and both healers were relatively working together, but like the tank and DPS weren't working together, and the DPS and healers, and I don't know, they weren't all meshing together well. And unfortunately, that first map is going to go over to Mizzou Bengals.
All right, so Mizzou Bengals are going to go ahead and have the ban while UNI has the pick of Hybrid. But while they are doing that, let's go ahead and give out our shout outs to our sponsors, which, you know, without their support, UNI wouldn't have been able to be in this position where they are today. So because of the price tag that NECC has for teams to join up. So first off, thank you to Cindy Lou Barbecue and Gosling and Company PC for being able to support us financially through these sponsorships to, you know, be able to bring you UNI Overwatch here today. Would you like to do the shout out for the merch, Joe?
Oh, hell yeah. I love doing the merch shout out. So if you guys are interested in supporting Panther Esports organization, you can go ahead and scroll down on the Twitch stream. There is a merch button. If you click it, it'll take you to esportsgear.com/collection/university-of-northern-iowa. There are shirts, there are sweatshirts, sweatpants, beanies, and jerseys. You can customize those jerseys several different ways. There's a couple different styles, and you can put your own name or gamer tag, whatever you want, on the jersey. And they're cheaper than like football jerseys. So definitely check them out, as Christmas is getting pretty close now. It's like a little bit more than a month away, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more than a month away. And, you know, I'm thinking about it now, Joe. Like, Thanksgiving is literally a week from today.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I I sometimes I got to remind myself, and then quickly after Thanksgiving, it's going to be the holidays. So like Joe said, get something for the gamer in your life, and get them UNI Panther Esports gear, and you'd be supporting the club while you're doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so looking here, the ban is going to be on Kings Row, which is everyone's favorite. So that's kind of expected. But kind of looking at this. You still got the choice of Blizzard World, Eichenwald, Hollywood, Midtown Nubani, or Paradiso. So, and kind of going back to what we saw in Antarctic Peninsula, it was very much a, support dominated game, in my opinion. So it's going to have to be something where UNI is going to have to close the gap and do like something more to more neutralize the support play of Mizzou Bengals.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt what you're saying. It looks like UNI is gonna go with Blizzard World.
Oh, interesting. So, what's your kind of thoughts there on Blizzard World there, Joe?
I like Blizzard World. Um, I think it's got some tough spots. Most notably like that first, capture point where you do have to get that payload. That first gate area can be really tough to push through. You do have the option as the attackers to sneak down into the left and go kind of around, but that just leads to another um, choke point coming out of those doors. It's just tough to get through either the gate or the little door on the left. But if you get through that, it's pretty okay. I don't know. It can get kind of tricky going along that I don't know how to the C shape in the middle of the map. I'll point it out here whenever we get
Mm-hmm.
in. Because a lot of like scrappy little fights can end up happening in that area. You can lose a player, you can lose two players, and then that makes your push really, really difficult going forward. But it looks like UNI is going to do a little bit of a switch here from skip from tank to healer, or excuse me, support. Uh, I think.
Yes, that should be going. I did talk with Starklana, the coach of UNI Purple, and I was given the game plan. Tank and are is going to be skip slash roadkill, so they are going to swap off.
Okay.
Of course, on our DPS duo, we have Unlasting and Vandium. For the first game, it was noted to me that it would be Bailey Joe and Roadkill. And then on hybrid escorts, we will kind of see, depending on the team and what was being played, then we'll see the swap. So Roadkill is going to play tank, and Skip is going to be support for this round.
Yeah. So, well, I wonder if that'll make a difference for UNI if they're able to push forward a little bit better this time. It seemed, I am not as good as these players, but it did seem to me as a third party that maybe Skip was going a little bit too hard in the paint as tank, not keeping an eye on what's going on behind him, or there wasn't enough communication going on for UNI, uh, and thus his supports were not able to enable him, but we'll see what goes on in the second game here if they're able to do a better job enabling roadkill.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, that's sort of kind of the thing too, is like Skip, he's a really high skilled player. So he's kind of thinking, he'll think thought processes out just a little bit more. And uh, and you got to communicate that, and sometimes if you don't, you get that disconnect. But I also conversely wonder if they want to play that roadkill, because roadkill does a really good job at playing Orisa. And I almost wonder if that's what they're gonna maybe play into going into this Blizzard world. Is that maybe they're gonna try and play more bunched up, more together. Maybe Skip being in that support role might be able to shot call just a little bit more. So it could be that case of maybe this is the change that UNI needs when they're um, down a map.
I hope so. I don't want to see them get 3-0'd here.
No, that would be unfortunate.
Even if they do, even if either team loses, I like to see not the 3-0 because it just sucks to see. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. And kind of looking at last week, the Cornell game, Cornell 2-0'd on Control in Busan, and they went ahead, and then they went 2-1 in Blizzard World. But then UNI flicked the switch, got the 3-2 in Flashpoint, went to push, played Esperanza, where UNI was able to get a dominant win. And it wasn't until where everything kind of fell apart in Circuit Royale. So, not necessarily saying that I kind of, these are hints of a reverse sweep, because I don't want to say that and, cast or curse us all. But, you also got to think it takes a little time for UNI, especially Purple Team, to kind of get in gear. But once they're in gear, they just cannot be stopped.
Yeah, I agree. And I do also think it so far seems a little bit like last week. I don't know, maybe that first game, not everything is melded together. The comms aren't there. Something isn't quite, they're missing a key ingredient, and they're gonna find it in this second game, I think. But knock on wood for that.
Yes. Don't worry. Let me reach back here. There you go. Knocked on the wood. We're good to go. Should be fine and ready. So, kind of looking here. Oh, NECC, he's finally in.
Nink.
I guess that's who, or Nink.
Or you can just call him Nick.
Nick's in.
And they are gonna swap him for Bailey Joe.
Okay. I like this. This is good. So Nink. I know. I even wrote down like how to phonetically say his name, and I still. But here we are. Nink, who is a really good support player, able to come in for this second game. I know he said he was supposed to be late, so this is all according to plan. Yes, of course.
Yeah. So really quick here, this is the big C-shaped area I was talking about before, in between the first and second checkpoints. I guess this is the capture, and I guess this would be the first checkpoint over there. But just in this area, so many different scrappy fights can happen. You can have defenders sitting in this area shooting up at the gate, or you can have some high ground battles going on right here, or you could even have some people messing around underneath, and it just creates a lot of space for shenanigans to happen, for the attackers to get staggered, and it can be kind of tough to push through that area.
Yeah, and as we see in these opening compositions, Residue playing the Sigma again, Broly on the Sojourn, and Archie on the Echo. We haven't seen that. Zia, that's also new for this Mizzou team. Going to be playing the Ilaria, and of course MXW5 going to play that clutch game one Baptiste, whereas conversely UNI is going to go with a Ramatra from Roadkill. That's really nice. Vandium on the Widow. We also have a Genji, Baptiste, and an Ana. So
let's see if the Widow pick is going to find anything here, as Mizzou are holding the high ground with a couple people.
Ooh, close.
Connects with the Echo, but not a headshot. We go for the pop shot here. Oh, does not find it.
So close. I know. Hopefully gets that value just right off. And already, get that one kill as Roadkill. He's going to go ahead and press in. Residue goes down. And there's no...
Down goes Anarchy. As soon as I switched away from Vandium's point of view, he found the headshot on Echo. Maybe that is a little bit of a caster or production curse there. But UNI is just going to stroll right onto this point here. Not a lot of resistance from Mizzou this time.
And how about that, Joe? Had a couple change-ups in personnel, and just a smooth like butter capture point for UNI.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good for UNI going into the second game here. They didn't use very much time, and I think that's going to be very valuable pushing through this center section. This C in the street area, it can be pretty tough to push through here. And it looks like Mizzou's gonna opt to fight over the high ground here.
Yeah, which nothing's wrong with that. You kind of want to match them on equal ground or a little bit higher, as we see on your screen on Lasting kind of poke around. Vandium. And a nice headshot for Vandium.
Unlasting gets in here trying to find something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like Unlasting, he recognizes he's up one, and he just decided to dive, use the Genji dash, and just continue to create space. But oh no, Nink goes down after the right click from Broly, as Broly gets a double kill.
Oh, there goes Skip. So, Roadkill's gonna have no supports going in here. Both.
Yeah.
Well, his Ana might get here in time to see him. We'll see.
Yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate scenario there, as Roadkill was going through the annihilation, but hey, clutch Nink there with the heals.
You're gonna see Vandium switch from the Widow to the Cassidy here. Almost called them his old name. Okay, here's the Genji, the Nano Blade coming out. Not gonna find. Okay, finds the pick on Broly, finds the pick on Anarchy. Is he gonna find any others here? No, not quite. But it's, oh my god, the rest of UNI is picking it up. They're gonna push through just like that.
Oh my goodness, first team kill from UNI after a just very tough fought an Antarctic Peninsula. Here they come around now with over 5 minutes, and they just passed that first checkpoint. They have 5 minutes to push in this very tough third point.
Yeah, and a big purple went out there from Nick. Gonna have to force enemy BAP, or excuse me, Mizzou BAP to use their immortality field. It's a ton of damage coming out on both sides here. Both healers are having to put in work to keep their team alive.
Yeah, definitely a lot of resource utilization, but it's always going to come down to that first pick. Who's going to get the separation? Who's going to focus that fire? Who's going to get the call outs? And already Zia is going to come out with the Ilaria ultimate. Going to try and sway the battle, as Skip is going to go put down the immortality disc and the window. He's going to get a nice shot on Anarchy. There's another one, another value added gained, as UNI is going to try and push around this corner.
But Mizzou's Sojourn ult, is it going to find anyone? No, it isn't. Unlasting is going to reflect the whatever you call it, the sniper shot from the Sojourn ult to kill the Sojourn with it.
Oh wow, yeah, I mean, just how nasty is that? And forcing Mizzou Anarchy to go back into the respawn. Oh my goodness, touch the spawn door challenge, why don't you?
Wow. And that's going to be the round one for UNI here, pretty quick.
Wow, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I wouldn't say that's record time, but that was very smooth, full push for UNI.
Yeah, it was. And if I were Mizzou right now, I would be a little worried, or I don't know, strategically cautious. I'd be like, we gotta do it well, because if it goes into the overtime, if Mizzou are able to push all the way up, they might have an issue, because that is just a lot of time that UNI, like they have a lot of time left to work with in case that overtime. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to think, what if it goes into the overtime scenario, I'm hoping and praying that it doesn't get to that, but you also got to think about that when you're, doing this next hold as your UNI. Anything past, 347 is going to be worth it. That's a team fight, 2 team fights, going into those extra rounds past 3 points. And it could be a matter of, going 2-0 or 1-1 in a series.
Yeah, and it looks like UNI are going to be doing a similar strategy to Mizzou here. They're not going to... Okay, never mind. I spoke too soon. So Mizzou did not have all 5 members up on this high ground, but UNI are going to go ahead and have all 5 of their members on this high ground. I think that's a good call, as UNI were kind of able to just walk past. Now, Mizzou does not have a Widow like UNI did on the attack, but they do have a Doomfist, and it can be a little bit harder to deal with as you see him push all, 3 people on UNI back.
Yeah, so that was a good come down all together as once for UNI.
Oh, the
Roadkill. Oh, that's a big shot on Zia, and it goes down. That's a healer for Mizzou Club. Bengal down, and that's gonna be that's gonna have to be a full reset now for Mizzou.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty tough, as Unlasting finds another pick on the Sojourn there.
A good stagger kill, so really like to see that. Of course, they are still going to have to hold for 3 minutes and some change. So UNI does a really good job at a bend, but don't break offense. As we see Residue come in right there, has to back away, switching the angle, and a nice call out there, and a nice purple coming out from UNI.
Yeah, members of UNI are getting a little bit low here. Vandium having to back up a little bit, get some healing, but he does get the flashbang kill on Residue. That's the tank down, so Mizzou's gonna have to fall back, but they're not fast enough. They lose the Lucio. The stagger is gonna get a little bit worse for him here. More time is gonna be burned.
Yeah, absolutely. You already got to start thinking about, 215 is going to be the next re-engage. What kind of ultimates do we have? We obviously know we have Skip, probably NECC. We'll have probably Vandium. Conversely, Residue is going to have his. Anarchy's going to have his. And, of course, MXW5 is going to have theirs as well. So you got to be thinking about these things when you're going in on this next re-engage.
Yeah, and I want to point out, this Anarchy guy on Genji is getting around on UNI. He's going to have his blade up, and I think he's just going to pop it straight away here. We'll see. UNI having to do their best with Unlasting on the Hanzo, trying to shoot through the window, not going to find anything as members of UNI are falling right and left. It's just Unlasting right now. Can he find a pick? He's trying his hardest.
Oh my gosh, down to 5.
Oh.
Let's go!
He got the pick on the Genji, but it's not enough.
No, sadly not, as he is going to get that headshot on Unlasting. So kind of retribution for that kill. But hey, I mean, still, you got to be sitting pretty good. Again, you're going to go at this top kind of angle, equal played footing for UNI and for Mizzou. So definitely, maybe you want to start thinking about cycling through some ultimates. Try to get the momentum swung back into your favor. As we already see, Roadkill is going to go ahead and press in a little bit, kind of take him off the high ground there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially with Vandium's Cassidy ult coming up here. We see Unlasting's Dragon go through. Vandium finds the pick on the tank, while Unlasting found the pick on the Soldier, and it's going to force Mizzou to run away here. Give space to UNI. UNI are going to take. Look at them, they're pushing all the way up.
Yeah, UNI able to cycle through some ultimates like I was able to say. Unlasting used his. Roadkill used their ultimate as well. Conversely, Broly had theirs that they used and didn't really find much value on it either, as Unlasting gets a nice headshot on Broly. Again, staggering what is a very monumentous momentum swing from Mizzou Club, and UNI is just not allowing it.
Yeah. And this Doomfist is just trying to find a way in here, and he's not able to find one kind of every single time. Vandium shuts him down, and that is not working out for Mizzou. Maybe they're going to switch up the tank here. I don't know. Unlasting finds another pick, this time on the Genji. And see, yeah, there goes the Doomfist straight away. And also, down goes the Kiriko. That's going to be another push. And Lucio. And
wow,
yeah.
So another good, team fight scenario for UNI Panthers. They were able to, get that first pick, and Unlasting, who's on fire, getting those first shots has been clutch on the Hanzo, just stopping Mizzou Club in their tracks. I almost wonder if maybe Residue's Doomfist isn't the play here, considering that you have to kind of flank your own way and leaving all the other squishies out in the open.
Yep, so he is getting onto this bridge here. Again, he's been trying to do this the whole time. I don't know what value he's going to find with it. He's kind of chasing down Vandium. He finds the pick on Vandium, unfortunately. We'll see if Unlasting's able to pick up the slack now that he's solo DPS. I don't know.
Yeah, Zia coming out with the beat, so Mizzou Club's going to try and apply that pressure as Roadkill. He's going to be charged, and he's going to try and create that space, try and prevent Mizzou Club to touch, as Residue is going to go ahead and get the kill on Skip, MX5, and Residue also pick up more kills on the members of UNI. And with this, it's just left for Roadkill.
Yeah, unfortunate for UNI there. That's going to be, I think, this second checkpoint, because they only have to get to this circly spot, yeah. So that's going to be 2 points for Mizzou here. Not as fast as UNI, so that will matter coming into the overtime if they are able to push through this castle here. But I'm not sure if that's going to be the case.
No, but it's so difficult. The third point is just so tough, as we see now Broly coming out with the Sojourn ultimate, trying to get some value. Zia picks up Skip, though, and gets a nice right click on NECC. So
but Vandium is behind with the high noon. He finds the pick on Residue.
That's so huge already and gets a nice stick. Unfortunately goes down and pays for it, but you get the tank and then lasting with a nice headshot on Zia. So UNI finding ways to kind of stifle the offense of Mizzou.
Yeah, and UNI did switch it up to the Torbjorn pick. I like that. We'll see how that works out. You know, inside of this castle part, that Molten Core can be really, really devastating in terms of area denial. So the Dragon Strike is going to come out from Unlasting. He's going to shoot into the wall, not find any picks with it.
But I mean, that was a good zone, of course, with the Kitsune Rush coming out from the Kyoko from MXW5. So that's some good value, and Skip with a clutch disc coming out to maintain Roadkill out there, and a good window out into the corner. But Broly gets a headshot on Roadkill. That's just an unfortunate loss for UNI there.
Oh, with Steven, that Vandium finds the pick on the residence on the Doomfist again.
And a nice purple coming out there from Nink, forcing the Zia on the Lucio to go back into the corner. So a good corner play right now from UNI, cycling through all those sight lines and continuing to push Mizzou back.
Yeah, I want to point out really quick, UNI did lose Roadkill on the Ramatra, but they dumped all of their healing into Unlasting, and it became Hanzo's the tank, and I thought it was kind of funny there.
Yeah, I mean, tank for Hanzo? Oh, wow, how about that? A good cleanup there in quick succession from UNI. UNI's just been on top of it in this game, too, Joe, and it's been really nice. They've been coordinating well, they've been talking well, and with 22 seconds, UNI might have an opportunity, but Mizzou Club definitely has 3, potentially 4, depending on the length of this next team fight.
Yeah, the turret for Vandium's turret goes down. That's going to be tough for UNI going into this fight, but they do have the Molten Core. The Genji blowing his ult and getting picked off by Unlasting. That's huge for UNI going into this team fight as Roadkill finds the pick on the Doomfist. The Sojourn ult for Mizzou comes out. There goes the Kiriko ult, and the Hanzo ult comes out for UNI. Oh, he finds the kill on Kiriko. Oh,
wow, Broly trying to prevent the onslaught and unfortunately falls for it. And of course, Anarchy goes down as well, and UNI is gonna take map 2.
Unlasting this game tore it up on the Hanzo Hunter. I really need to point that out. He was getting picks left and right, and ended up saving the game there for UNI. I think, yeah, this better be his. I think this is at the end. I think it should be at the end. Yeah, it is. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. That pick on the Kiriko. He gets that pick on the Sojourn. And I don't think he's going to get the... Oh, yeah. He gets the melee in the kill cam here. Yep, that's 3 picks just on Unlasting in that last bit of the game.
Yeah,
Crazy stuff.
I would really like to see what that Unlasting kill death ratio was, because that, man, every single team fight that UNI won in that Blizzard world was from a Unlasting contribution kill or an Unlasting solo kill, especially on MX5 or Zia or Broly. You know, there was at least at one point in time where, you know, Unlasting had a singular solo pick on every member of the Mizzou Bengals.
Yeah. And going into round 3 here, it is going to be Flashpoint, and that means that Mizzou pick the Flashpoint map. Because there's only 2 maps, they don't bother doing a we'll ban and you pick kind of thing, because it's one or the other. So
yeah, and usually that ends up in like, well, I guess we'll play Servasa.
Yeah, that is very true.
But I mean, either way, I mean, no matter how you dice it up, of course, I personally haven't played to the full extent like I should. But we are gonna play on Servasa. I was gonna say I don't know what the pros or cons for, you know, New Junk City or Servasa into sort kind of like the roadkill Ramatra kind of brawl style, which I fully expect to see again. Maybe not on lasting on the Hanzo, but definitely expect to see here in Servasa. Maybe we might see that. I don't know. It's really interesting to kind of think about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, I think the Ramatra pick is really good on these Flashpoint maps, just because he is so versatile in terms of like pacing and I don't know what he can do. Like, he's really good at defense and he's really good at going in. He's just a pure tempo tank, and I think that tempo matters a lot in this game mode.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially, for those who haven't played a Flashpoint map, the momentum and the tempo, like you mentioned, Joe, is so important because the percentage ticks up way much faster than Control.
Yeah, it takes up so much faster, so every team fight lost is, that much closer to the end of the game for your team, and you don't like to see that. So normally in like a Control map, I'd say you can get like 4 or 5 different pushes, per side, like we saw in that first game. But in this one, per point, you only get like 2 or 3 really good pushes before you end up having to give the point over. So we'll see what UNI are able to do here.
Yeah, and again, we see that Roadkill Ramatra has been very dominant in creating that space. So hopefully they can get that value out of that. Of course, Residue is going to go back to the Doomfist. So I would definitely say the advantage is in UNI's favor. But of course, that can change depending at, what kind of team play is going to happen here. And already initially, both of these teams are kind of going to poke out here. Kabuki, who is on the Lucio, definitely gives the advantage because of that speed boost there off of the initial outright. And UNI is going to have to try and force their way through this choke point. And they do, and they're going to
the pick on the Genji.
So one down now for Mizzou Club as Mizzou's going to try and get that first tick. Broly then answers on skip, so UNI has to press now as they're down to several heals. And there's a big dive and a nice purple and sleep on Residue. Broly goes down as Nink is able to get a couple shots in. And already in that quick succession, UNI is going to go ahead and try and contest the point. Try to cap it for themselves, but Kabuki takes out Vandium. Unlasting, trying to get some reflections on. Can't quite get there as there is too many members of Mizzou Club on there and pays for it as he tries to run away. But here comes Roadkill now. He's going to be stunned. He's going to be on point. He's going to slowly get ticked down. And UNI is going to have to fall back quickly in this one as Residue is going to try and punish.
Yeah, that was a really good fight by UNI there. They were able to get the point back and get some progress. So, kind of even. Oh, I mean, it's not going to be even once they get to the point, but having it not be 40% to 0%, 50% now to 0%, that's good for UNI. As Doomfist here is going to be pushing and using his ult, trying to stop him, but the sleep. Are they going to find a pick on the Doom? I don't know.
I mean, that was just a really nice solo play there from Residue. Of course, he's going to try and hop back out as he gets Unlasting picked it, but Nink is able to find the biotic grenade kill on the Mizzou Club Residue. So, but here comes UNI. Of course, Kitsune Rush coming out there from NXW5. But conversely, UNI is going to do the same with Skip. It's going to be a contest fight on the match as it clicks on over to overtime. Anarchy, who is purple, trying to use the blade, gets no value from it. MXW5 is going to take down Vandium as overtime still kind of ticks over, but it's definitely in favor of UNI here.
Yeah, so UNI were able to push that Lucio off the point. And, Hunter, it's pretty close for UNI. The Mizzou got to 99%. UNI cutting it pretty close there.
Yeah, already. So nice punish there and a nice leap there from Nink. Wow. And already, quick ticks happen. That's a big play for UNI.
Yeah, that's what you need to have happen in these flashpoints. Losing somebody on your team, especially the tank, just like UNI is gonna get an extra like 20% off of that time waster for Mizzou here. So it's gonna be going to 99% to 99%. We're gonna see Vandium's Riptire go out, find the pick on Kabuki. Roadkill gonna find the pick on Residue. There's no tank and one healer down, one DPS down for Mizzou. UNI loses Vandium, and Skip is able to find the pick on MXW5 on the Kiriko. That's going to be 0.1 for UNI.
How about that? Momentum definitely shifting right now in UNI as they were able to get several clutch plays. Cycling through, punishing Residue, getting the picks on Anarchy and Kabuki. This is what UNI needs to do to continue to do as they finish up Turvasa and the series as a whole.
Yeah, we're gonna see Residue maintain this Doomfist pick. He's gonna be having his, I don't remember what Doomfist ult is called, but the Doomfist ult is gonna be coming up soon. We'll see what kind of value he can get off of it, or if he ends up getting slept and purpled again. I don't know. Nick's been pretty on top of it this game with the sleeps on Ana. There's the Meteor Strike. Is not able to find a pick on UNI, but Anarchy, Residue, oh my god, all of UNI is going down. I spoke too soon. Caster's Curse.
Caster's Curse. Come on, Joe.
No,
I
sorry,
mean,
I'm sorry.
but it's one of those things too. You know, the momentum is going to shift left or right. You know, if you put team kills on a ticker counter right now, it's technically tied 1-1 on the series. So we kind of expect this when similarly skilled teams are facing against each other. So if you're UNI, that was a good kind of fallback. You have 3 ultimates to, again, 3, possibly 4
There's the
ultimates.
Nano, the Genji ult is out. I can't find him. Where is he at? There it is.
Oh, but Anarchy, he's going to pick up.
Oh my god.
Oh, no. 4 members of UNI as, oh my goodness. I can't even speak. That happened too fast. Just unfortunately what Lasting wanted to do, Anarchy was able to do, and just kind of clean sweep it. And 85%, UNI is going to need to engage now.
I don't know if this is a good idea for them to engage. Getting a touch here could be disastrous. If they don't touch in time, one of them dies, they start trickling for the next point. I think that, yeah, they're going to do what I was thinking. They're just going to call it off, make it 1-1, regroup, and go for a good push on this next objective here. Maybe look for a fight in between.
Yeah, that's definitely what Roadkill's kind of pathing out to do, is kind of catch him out in the middle here already, and catches MX5 off to the left. So hopefully they can talk about that, but gets teleported right out, and Suzu's to confirm the get out. So that's definitely on countdown, though. You got to keep that in mind, as UNI is going to continue to push. They're kind of where the point is going to be ultimately. And as that point's going to unlock, who's going to go ahead and get this first cap?
Skip's going to use the Kiriko ult here. Not going to find any picks on UNI yet. We'll see. Okay, they do find the pick on the Doomfist, forcing it off the point. He's getting Vandy. I'm going to find, yeah, he does find the pick on the Genji. That's going to be a 3v5 in favor of UNI. A 2v5 as Broly goes down. And Kiriko, 1v5. Kabuki's got to run for the hills. And
Kabuki, get out of there. But, you know, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Joe.
No, you're good. You know, the Kabuki is finding a lot of value with the Lucio picks these games. You know, we can't see the numbers, but I can see that he is not dying very often on the Lucio, and that's what you need to have as Lucio. You need to be able to rotate, and you need to be able to get in and out fast. As we're seeing, he's going to be speeding up. Oh, I was about to say Doomfist was getting sped up to the high ground here, but he does get slept and purpled into the Meteor Strike, finds the pick on Nick. But
conversely, on Lasting's going to get that kill on Broly, and Annihilation coming out, or Roadkill, so he's going to try and create that space, get that value press on the Mizzou Club team, as you see on your screen. On Lasting, able to get the kill on MX5 and Skip to take out Residue. So that was a good series of trades there for UNI, wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, I'd say so, especially as UNI has their Blade up, they have the Molten Core up, and they have that Nano up, ready for this next fight. I think Mizzou's just going to try to give this point the way UNI did last time. Oh, no, they're not! They're going to have Anarchy go in with the Blade. Anarchy and Residue find the pick on Vandium. Roadkill goes down, and UNI, they're going down here, I think.
Yeah, and we see the Kitsune Rush and Kabuki coming out with the beat, forcing this to overtime. They want this point.
Yeah, they're not going to give up quite as easily. But I don't know. UNI, I think they wanted to save their ults for the next point here, but I think they're going to have to use something here. Maybe the Molten Core or the Nano Blade. Maybe the Kitsune Rush. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting. They're probably going to initiate with the Nano Blade if they are going to go that route. Otherwise, you know, for ultimates, you got a lot of play with how you want to kind of take this. And with 42 seconds, you still got at least a team fight. Maybe they're looking for the first pick. On Lasting goes down with the big right click, so you can't go that angle. Here comes Roadkill now, and Vandium's going to use the Molten Core. Try to zone it out. Kitsune Rush now comes out from Skip. Broly's going to use the Sojourn, or A purpled Residue. He's going to get low, but he's still going to be up there. UNI with time ticking over, now pressed into overtime. Nice sleep there by Nink, and Residue goes down. Skip able to pick the kill from that Residue sleep, and UNI is going to take this 3rd point.
That was really good by UNI. You know, it sucks that they did have to use the Kiriko ult, and it sucks that they did have to use the Molten Core, but they do have Roadkill's Ramatra ult coming up here pretty soon, and they still have that Nano Blade ready to blast whenever they want to use it here. I wonder if we'll see them use it at the start of this fight or not. Oh, the sim pick, the swap from Mizzou coming out. Anarchy getting off the Genji and going to Symmetra. Okay, so there's the Nano, there's the Blade, Unlasting getting rocked. Gonna find the pick on Broly's Sojourn really quick here. Not able to find a second pick.
Yeah, but still that's value on Broly. That's 1 member down and already backed into a corner as Nink's going to get the Biotic Grenade kill on Residue. So Mizzou down 3.
Anarchy jumped off the map.
What about a tactical reset there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, if they were trying to dodge or it was a tactical reset, but that's going to give UNI the point here.
Yeah, and that was a good cycle of ultimates. Of course, I would still say, you know, with Roadkill having his ultimate available and ready for this next fight, I would still say that they're kind of at that advantage. Oh no, Residue gets to pick on Vandium, so this is the green light for Mizzou Club. But here comes Roadkill with the Clutch ultimate, forces MXW5 to pop the invincibility disc, and Residue is going to get that pick on Roadkill. And conversely, Anarchy's going to pick up on Last Seed. Skip gets a nice headshot there on Broly, but I don't know if it's going to matter.
Oh, Skip fighting for his life there. Gonna have the point take over to Mizzou here. UNI were almost able to get it taken. It's up to 84%, so realistically all they need to do is group up and win 1 fight, and this match is theirs. So I think UNI need to focus up here, group up, and they can take this.
Yeah, UNI's going to have precision execution if they want to go ahead and take this map and not force it to a 5th flashpoint. And already a couple values coming out there from Unlasting, trying to poke out those
the rush coming out from Skip. The Gravitic Flux coming out from Residue to counter. And it's going to find the pick on Roadkill with the Sojourn there. Also the BAP window coming out for Mizzou. I think UNI... Oh, Skip tries to teleport to Unlasting, but Unlasting and Skip were both... I'm not really sure. I think Unlasting was maybe trying to die and reset there, and he teleported to the reset? I don't know. But I think it's going to be going to a 0.5 here.
Yeah, I would almost think that too. Maybe try and get a little bit of some ult charge coming up now. And because that was a good execution there from Mizzou Club. They're going to have 2-3... ultimates going into this initial fight, into this final flashpoint.
Let's see what UNI are able to do. They are going to keep this Genji pick, despite the Symmetra pick. I think that's interesting. We're going to see Sojourn ult for Mizzou here. Roadkill doing his best to stay alive, but he ends up dying to the Lucio boop. Broly finding a pick on Vandium. We're going to see the Nano Blade come out here. Unlasting gets rocked by Sigma. Is not able to find the pick on the Sojourn. Okay, never mind. He does. But he's not, I don't think he's going to find any more as he gets laser beamed down by the Symmetra.
Yeah, that was kind of the one-handed, heavy-handed pick that UNI was going to go in. They were like, this is what we're going to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's just a sense of, you know, that's kind of how you wanted the cards to fall. They didn't go your way. Now Mizzou Club is going to get this ticked over, and it's probably going to be about 30% till you go ahead and get that next re-engage.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, I did just mention that they were trying to force the Genji versus the Symmetra, and I'm glad that they swapped the Genji to the Hanzo here. Maybe they can find a little bit more value. Maybe get a lucky headshot and turn the fight. Oh, Roadkill going down. Okay, oh man, and another member of UNI going down, Vandium going down to Anarchy. But Nink is going to hit that sleep again. They're not going to find any picks off of it. UNI are forced to retreat here. They have one more chance to regroup and retake. Otherwise, this is going to be game 3 for Mizzou Club Bengal. What do you think
I'm looking
right
at
now, Hunter?
The things that I'm thinking right now is that they need to go ahead and press in. They need to find a counter to Anarchy's Oh, and here we go. The Graphitic Flux comes out from Residue. Now here comes all the ultimates. Roadkill is going to go ahead, and he's going to try and press in, and it's to no avail, and Mizzou Bengals is going to take game 3. But what I was going to say is that they were going to need to push through, try and cycle through some ultimates, because the win condition in my mind was as soon as Mizzou Club kind of switched to the Symmetra, that was kind of the win condition there. It was kind of neutralize the Symmetra, but it just was unfortunate, as we see here. Anarchy getting a nice 5-man or 4-man, yeah, 4-man, and that's just and it's unfortunate, but again, you know, these momentum swings happen in a game like Overwatch, Joe.
Yep. So as we go into a game 4 here, that means the game type is going to be switching over to push. So we are going to see that robot, and wonder. So were you casting with me when I think it was Gold Team played on? No. It was Purple Team on Coliseum Push. I think it was last week, right?
Last week against Cornell.
Yeah.
Yep, I was there.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully we don't see a Coliseum pick from Mizzou Bengals. I don't know if Coliseum is UNI's best push map, but maybe they'll, I don't know, not let what happened last week happen this week. Because last week that was a rough game at the start. Like towards the end, it was a lot more even, but they kind of all trickled at the start and ended up getting pushed back to their spawn doors for quite some time while the robot pushed up. So we'll see here if it's gonna be Coliseum, if it's gonna be Esperanza, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would say one thing, Joe, is that right now, Unlasting's Hanzo has been absolutely clutch. So we want a map. If I am in the position of StarClanna or Skip, I would be thinking that we would need probably a Coliseum, potentially an Esperanza on that second point. Because, you know, the Hanzo and the Cassidy from this DPS duo of Unlasting and Vandium has just been, you know, phenomenal. And getting those early picks is what got UNI their 3-2 win on Hybrid. And, you know, conversely, I would challenge to say, you know, kind of like we mentioned last week against Cornell, they were able to get some momentum pushing because they were able to get that first, you know, series of picks going in, and it just sort of kind of spitballed from there. So I would personally, if I was in their shoes, of course, I made my fight for Coliseum, but we're gonna go New Queen Street.
Okay, yep. So it is gonna be New Queen Street. Whoops, didn't mean to click that. We'll see what goes on here. As we do have a second, I do want to take a quick second to thank our sponsors, Cindy Lou's Barbecue and Gosling & Company PC in Cedar Falls. And if you guys haven't already, you can go check out our merch. You click on the link down there. It'd be a great gift to someone this Christmas, especially if you want to support Panther Esports.
Absolutely. You know, the holidays are coming up quick, and you know, you still gotta shipping. You always got to think about shipping.
Oh yeah,
because you don't want to pay like $40 for like 2-day shipping. Because I haven't made poor financial decisions like that. So think ahead. Order UNI Panther Esports merch ahead of time. It's better to do it now rather than later, and you're rushing paying those extra costs and shipping costs. So don't do that. Just go ahead and get your gift now.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts on New Queen Street?
You know, New Queen Street is a very unique map. It's my personal favorite out of the 3 in this pool. I especially like how you kind of have those centrally located sort of kind of high grounds, and it gives you a lot of versatility to play a lot of different kinds of characters. Like you can play a lot of different compositions, especially like you can kind of see here. This top section looking down that straightaway is so important. So, you know, I did like it. And looking at these compositions, this is kind of what I expect. UNI coming out with a nice push kind of composition, and hopefully UNI can make something happen here.
Yeah, we'll see here. So you did mention that high ground looking down the street, and it looks like Mizzou is going to go straight for it and take it.
Yeah, it's just so critical, especially when you're playing at such a pokey matchup, as we see again, Anarchy going for the excuse me, the Symmetra again. So that's going to be win condition for UNI right now as it currently stands. You know, try and stop Anarchy and the Symmetra. And right now, that was a good, you know, that was a 2-for-1 trade coming out there. But the momentum right now is currently in favor of Mizzou. And the thing about push is that you have to win 2 team fights if you lose the first team fight if you want to get ahead.
Yeah, and especially because this is Overwatch 2, as soon as you lose one person, that makes the rest of the team fight pretty hard to win. UNI did lose one of their supports, Skip, right off the bat there, and it just became a trickle of deaths for UNI. But they're able to regroup here. We'll see what they can do with it. I mean, they did switch the Genji Unlasting for Hanzo here really quick, and you did mention he has been pretty clutch this series, and I think this is a really good swap by UNI.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be trying to get that pick on Anarchy. If they can get that, that's what UNI's win condition right now. Residue and Roadkill are kind of playing very equally. As you can kind of see, it's going to be protecting the supports and getting the pick on the players that, you know, have the most swing here. And already a nice kill there from Roadkill using MXW5's invincibility shield, and Mizzou Club is going to have to back out quickly as Roadkill is going to go ahead and press the attack.
Yeah, that was a really huge pick by Roadkill on the Sigma there. He's got his Ramatra ult ready for the next fight if he wants to use it. I don't know if he will. Skip has his bat window ready to use, and Nick has his Ana Nano to use. We'll see. I think the Nano is going to go to Roadkill's Ramatra. So, oh, okay, so we see both windows come out. We also see the Sojourn ult come out, and we see the Nano come out. And the, okay, so many ults just came out. Roadkill getting a 4K, or excuse me, 3K. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4 there.
Yeah,
that was rapid.
It was a 3 kill, but that was a quick succession. Nice play there from UNI. Of course, there was that big pick by Broly initially, using the Sojourn ultimate. And conversely, what a clutch, you know, kind of combination there from Roadkill and Nink. Able to get that nice 3-man. I'm going to give it a 4-man just because of the coordination style points.
Yep, unfortunately for UNI, they did have to use one more ult than Mizzou used. But Unlasting is able to find a pick on Anarchy right here while that Symmetra ult comes up. So they're not going to find as much value out of that Symmetra wall. We'll see though, as Residue is pushing up on this Sigma, he's going to be looking for a Gravitic Flux on UNI. There it is, it comes out, it finds the pick on Unlasting. And only Unlasting. Vandium is going to be doing his best to fight back here. He's going to go down to Broly. And Roadkill is going to do his best to survive and stop the trickle.
Yeah, UNI is going to have to push back, kind of reset here. You know, 6:20 left to play. You still got the slight lead advantage. You made them use a couple of their ultimates. Of course, you got the Vandium Deadeye, which you can use that if you want to get an off-angle shot, you know, using those corners. You have that available to you. And now here comes Roadkill as he's going to go ahead and switch the module. There on Ramatra, try and create that space, and Unlasting gets the kill on Broly. So UNI is going to push even further. UNI is going to get a nice pick there on Residue. So UNI is going to switch this momentum yet again.
Yeah, that was a huge pick. 2 huge picks there to help UNI push this up here. The 3v5 really hard to deal with, just because it was Overwatch 2, and on these push maps, it's really important to, as soon as you start losing a fight, to fall back to stop that trickle, because it can be really easy to get pushed back to your spawn doors and start losing the map really fast. Let's see what happens.
Oh, and here comes a clutch Immortality field coming out, but they're going to try and fight it back. Annihilation comes out for Roadkill. It doesn't matter. He's going to push through. Broly gets the right click using their ultimate. Kabuki's going to try and extend the play with the beat. Gets no value. Tons of fighting going back and forth, and UNI is going to try and come out on top on that one.
Yeah, they are. Not that many, not that much bloodshed, only a little bit, but a lot of ult usage there. Just kind of forcing both teams to give each other space. Pretty interesting. Coming into this next fight, Vandium is going to have the high noon on the Cassidy here. I think that'll be a little bit of a game changer. I don't know. We see Unlasting use his dragons to kind of force Mizzou out of the street here. See the flashbang come out. Not going to find the pick because of the emo field. Okay.
Yeah, Unlasting able to take out the emo field, and already Residue's going to get a nice gravitic flux out. Tries to get the I almost said McCree. Cassidy ultimate on for Vandium, but you know, again, it's just been a slightly better execution there for Mizzou.
Yeah, but you know, it's push mode and UNI still have the lead. That means that Mizzou still have to win fights to get a lead here, and they only have one, kind of two ults ready for this next fight. And they're not even going to opt to go for the high ground. They're just going to run straight up with the bot here and fight UNI in the street. I don't know how that's going to work out for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them here in this kind of situation. It's kind of favored UNI here, as he's going to go ahead and the Symmetra ultimate's going to have to be popped out, so it's going to be trying to play around that right now for UNI. And already trying to get some value, trying to play on that robot, but MXW5 is going to get the pick on NECC. So that's unfortunate. So UNI is going to try and bend but don't break here. Couple clutch plays, but no, Broly able to take out Unlasting. So UNI is going to have to back out potentially, unless they can come up with a huge clutch play here. As Roadkill is going to use the Annihilation and gets no value. That's a little bit too greedy there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a little bit desperate, a little bit of a panic. I don't know though. You know, I don't know if you could tell there, but there was a little bit of miscommunication, or I'm trying to think of the opposite of coordination between Unlasting and between Skip. Unlasting was inside of that high ground, tiny little room, and Skip did not have vision to not line of sight to give him the BAF healing, and he ended up going down to Broly's Sojourn. But we're gonna see Sigma uses Gravitic Flux, not find any picks on UNI because of the ammo field. Unlasting gonna find 2 picks with his Dragons. Roadkill finding a pick here. It's gonna be a 2v. Okay, never mind. 1v. There's a team kill. I should stop talking.
No, you're perfectly fine. I mean, that was a good recognition right there on point. Residue and Broly trying to coordinate there, get the Gravitic Flux in the Sojourn ultimate. Gets no value from it because of a clutch skip emote field. And then conversely, you know, you got Roadkill, flips over the Annihilation, and then just walks across Mizzou Club Bengal. So excellent job there. Another momentum shift, and right now UNI kind of has the advantage by 5 meters, and that's worth it when you have Vandium, who swapped now to the Sojourn, gets the value on that. So going toe to toe there with Broly.
You know, that's pretty hype too, because I don't think we ever see Vandium go with the Sojourn. Oh my god, and he finds another pick. Vandium popping off on this Sojourn pick all of a sudden. Where did this come
nasty.
from?
I don't know.
See him play Sojourn?
No, we haven't, but he's really good on the Cassidy. He's really good on these hit scan characters, and you can kind of see that here. You know, with 1:30 left to play, that was a huge clutch shot there on Broly, and UNI is going to try and add to this. It's kind of equaled right now on the ultimate kind of space, but they're trying to extend that lead.
Oh, Unlasting finding a pick on Broly. Mizzou gonna have to make something happen soon here. They only have a minute left to push. They are gonna try to find a pick on Roadkill, and they do. It's gonna slow UNI down. Skip gonna go down as well. That's gonna be a 3v5 for UNI. Oh, 2v4 now. Oh, I cannot find a person to look at. My bad. UNI are gonna go down. They're gonna have to fall back and regroup.
Yeah, but that's perfectly fine. 50 seconds left. You know, you still got a team fight, or potentially 2. Going into this, you know, you got a quite literally 20 meters that you can kind of work with in that scenario. And of course, Vandium, Unlasting, and NECC are going to have their ultimates. Conversely, we'll probably see Residue, Broly, and of course MXW5 going to have their ultimate going into this next team fight.
Okay, so we see Vandium use his Sojourn ult. Not going to find any picks quite yet. We're going to see the Gravitic Flux hit 3 members of UNI. Unlasting Dragons coming out, going to find the pick on Anarchy. MXW5 going to find the pick on Vandium. I hear Broly use their Sojourn ult. I don't think they're finding any picks right now, though.
No, and MXW5 is going to try and use the window, try to create space, and we're in overtime, and the robot starts to slowly creep ahead. Still kind of a neutral fight scenario there for UNI, but unfortunately Unlasting goes down. That's going to be the pick that Mizzou Club Bengals they're going to need, and as less than 7 meters sort of kind of creeps up, UNI needs to press the attack and do it now.
Yeah, and you know, fortunately for UNI, they are in front of their spawn doors, so Unlasting is going to be able to come back as this Hanzo pretty quick here. Except he comes back as the emergency Sombra pick. We'll see what that's going to be able to do. Roadkill goes down to the Symmetra, and Symmetra also finds the pick on Skip. I think that's going to be series for Mizzou here. Oh, yeah. That's a team kill, and all of UNI are down, and that is game 3 for Mizzou Club Bengal. Unfortunate.
Man, that's tough though. But of course, you know, the winner of this is going to have to go and play either the Grandview Vikings or the University of, I believe, St. Louis. But either way, you know, you and I had a nice, hard-fought match. They came back, they fought, really made it competitive, forcing it to a game 4. But, you know, here we are, and it's the end of the line here for you and I.
Yeah. I think that's the end of their season, right?
Yes, correct. It's a single elimination tournament. So, yep, you and I's fall season, at least for purple team, is done. So, I mean,
Unfortunate.
yeah, it is very unfortunate. Of course, we won't be back here on the 30th to cast round 2. But, you know, think about the upsides. I'm trying to be too negative. I got to think about the upsides. I mean, the upsides is Unlasting was just so clutch today, and if it wasn't for a few picks here or there and just, you know, the good coordination that the Mizzou Bengals had, you know, maybe we would be talking about a different story. And, you know, initially, you and I was not playing together at all. We had Skip on the tank, conversely, Roadkill on the support. Didn't get the value that they were quite looking for. But hey, you and I adapts. Overwatch 2 is a game of adaptation. And it was definitely a good job of you and I. They were able to adapt, especially going into the hybrid. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you find yourselves, unfortunately, on the wrong side of the coin.
Yeah. So who do you think we ought to interview?
Oh goodness, could get our pick. Honestly, I'm down for Roadkill. Roadkill did a really good job. Did we interview Roadkill last time, or
Uh,
I can't remember?
I don't remember who we interviewed last time, if we interviewed anybody.
Oh, uh, either way, I mean, if I had to pick an MVP for you and I would definitely say it would be Unlasting in
Yeah,
my personal opinion,
I was gonna
because
say so as well.
just the clutch shots on Hanzo during Blizzard World, like that's what really pushed to a map 4 was that Blizzard World win, you know, 3-2, getting the headshots on the Hanzo, you know, using the game sense to kind of recognize, you know, when to play, you know, Genji, and conversely, he got a couple good nano blades as Genji. So he did an excellent job. Why would you pick Unlasting there, Joe?
Same reasons. Unlasting, you know, he popped off this series, uh, and I'm gonna see if I can get him in here. Oopsie.
Otherwise, I mean, I'd also be fine interviewing Nink. Skip was pretty good. Oh, we interviewed Skip last time. I remember that.
Okay, that's right.
Vandium and Roadkill. I mean, honestly, anybody who played today. I mean, they all had their shining moments, definitely. But um, just an unfortunate scenario. So, while we're trying to get an interview here, of course, going to do our last shout outs for the fall season. Big shout out to Cindy Lou Barbecue, Gosling and Company PC. And of course, if you would like to support UNI Panther Esports directly, you could go ahead and purchase our merchandise at the link below here in Twitch. So, if you would do that, that would be so kind, be so helpful. I know right now, football season is going, and jerseys for football is $120. I should know because I bought one this year. But conversely, you can go ahead and pick up a jersey for 34 bucks plus shipping and handling and tax. definitely well worth it, and they're fully customizable. So get it for that gamer in your life.
Well, I guess Unlasting doesn't want to do an interview. I don't know.
I guess that's fair. I mean, he didn't do interviews last year as well. I didn't know if he was gonna change his mind eventually. But so be it.
Um, we'll see here if we're able to get one. If anybody really
Yeah.
wants to do one.
Yeah. Otherwise, we can close it up as well. It's somber. Oh, Star Clan of the coach. It looks like.
Okay.
But Joe, before Star kind of gets here and she's meeting with her team, can you maybe talk a little bit, kind of give us a breakdown of kind of what you saw, or I guess if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I feel like we definitely didn't see as much coordination, communication. There's something that broke down there in that first game. Not so much in the second game, but I feel like in that third game there was maybe some coordination issues. I don't know. We did see in that third game, like I said, kind of on both teams, people jumping off the map, and I think a little bit was resetting, but it's hard to tell, especially in the moment. We saw some ult usage that I think was kind of suspect, like in terms of you're the last man standing and you're going to be using that tank ult. I don't know about that, uh, but we do have Anna in here for the interview. Hello.
Hello.
Well, Star,
Yeah,
we're at the end of the road,
we
of
are.
course. UNI falls 3-1 to the Mizzou Bengals. The rumble in the jungle, unfortunately, does not go in UNI's favor. Can you kind of give us your thoughts going, just kind of give us a summation of, this team this year and how they kind of progressed?
Yeah, so it was I'm just gonna go all the way back to the beginning. It was very interesting trying to get all of these teams formed and figured out like who was gonna play where, how things were going to work out. And we got purple team together and I was like, we have a pretty a high ranked team this year. Like this is like we've never had a team where everyone was like diamond masters, grandmasters. Like usually there's always like a mix of the ranks. So this was pretty exciting, but it was also fairly challenging because we've never had a team this high ranked, at least since I've been here. I think at the very beginning, when Overwatch won like 5 years ago, that I think UNI had a higher ranked team, but this was my first time, I guess, being here with a team this high, and it was, it didn't start out super hot, but they managed to pull it together a lot through the mid season. I will say it was very rough trying to find practices for this team, and I think that was something that probably held us back, just because we could only practice like once a week, and even then we wouldn't have all of the players there. So I think if this team, if people didn't have jobs or other after school activities, but being a student it's a lot. And I always tell them, I'm like, you guys are students first, do what you need to. But all things considered, they were a very good team. Just wish they had more time to play together. But they'll, at least some of them will be here next semester. Not all of them, but some of them will be here next semester. So yeah, I kind of talked a lot, so I
No,
guess
you're good.
that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you touched on some of this stuff during your talking just now, but I like to ask at the end of these seasons, uh, for the team as a whole, what are some of the things that you think you guys did well, some of the things that you guys excelled at, and then conversely, some things that you maybe didn't excel at or that you need to work on? Maybe I don't know which one you want to start with and end with, but kind of both sides of that coin.
Yeah, I mean, I think over time they got a lot better at listening to each other. That was something this team really struggled with in the beginning. And I think they definitely improved at that. Um I think once you get to some of these like this higher level of gameplay, I think some of the things that this team probably struggled with is just having those like I would say like those pop off moments, like those moments that you're really impactful. And they had some of those moments, but I think that I'm sorry, I was just trying I think they just needed to happen more often. Like, I don't know, just some of our just like our core gameplay, some practicing those just those higher like mechanically skill type things like I don't know, just like hitting your some of your cooldowns when on I don't know, like hitting crazy sleep darts or um just getting the most impact out of your abilities. And it's I mean it's just higher level stuff that you're not gonna get away with, you know, just kind of doing average at this level. But yeah, I mean they did improve together as a team.
Yeah.
Um But yeah, but there's always room for improvement, individually and as a team. So
Yeah, so kind of going off of that a little bit, kind of looking at it, what do you think was your favorite moment that this team had just, throughout this semester and being a part of NECC?
yeah, I will say I haven't gotten to watch this team as much as I would have liked to throughout like their NECC matches. I think towards the middle I was kind of watching Gold Team more. Um, but I one of my personal favorite moments, we were kind of struggling to figure out what to have our supports play, and I think it was in a scrim actually, and we put Nick on Anna, and he just kept hitting like these insane sleep darts and nades, and it was like, oh, I guess Nick is just playing Anna now. Like, I'm like, I don't need to see anything else. Like it was, and this was like, you know, a couple games into the season. Um, but yeah, and I think, you know, obviously the wins are fun, especially, you know, some of they had some really good stomps, some 3-0 stomps. I know there's that one clip. I don't remember what team they played, but I remember it was on Servasa and it was Skip and the entire other team and he killed the entire other team. And that's just one of those moments where you're like, "Yep, that's a Skip moment right there." And they came back and won that map, winning them the series 3-0.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was, and I was watching it. I was in Storm Lake doing my level 3, so I'm like watching it on my phone, in my bed in an Airbnb. Like I have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow for to go hang out with some second graders, and I'm like, you know, sitting on the edge of my seat watching this game, and I'm like, let's go. I'm like cheering, and I got a roommate in the other room. She's like, what is going on over there? But yeah.
Well, I didn't really have any other questions. I guess
Guys have any favorite moments? I guess from I'm just gonna ask from any of the teams, purple, gold, or white.
Oh man, that's really tough.
I
Uh,
remember earlier in the season, I don't remember I'm pretty sure it was on last and got like a 4 or a 5 man Genji ult like while his team was being hit with a Mei ult. Like they I think it was on lasting got nanoed and then he bladed and like everybody on UNI was frozen and he was just like killing all of the other teams. So I think that was probably one of my favorite moments.
He has some very good blades. I guess that was one thing we had to work on a lot was getting the nano blades. That was actually why we had Nick off of Ana for a while because we could not land the nano blades, but they eventually came around and were able to pull off the nano blades. So I guess that was another thing they improved on.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment was the one UNI Gold game that I was able to broadcast, and they ended up pushing it to like a map 5, I believe. It was the Buena Vista game. Where they were
Oh,
able to pull that one out. Like, oh my gosh, like if you want to talk about like peak Overwatch, I will refer to that every single time.
that was a good game. That one we had 2 subs from white team. We had Mr. Sir Claps, or Claps, Nate, one of the DPS from white team, and then we had Quartz Mage or Michael Kunrad on support. That was a good game. That was a good game.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and it was really fun to watch, and it was really fun to cast, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. But do you got any more questions, Joe?
No, I don't have any more questions.
All right. So my last serious question for you, Star, is kind of looking at next semester. Who's going to be taking over, or how's next semester going to look?
Yeah. I'm honestly not entirely sure what next semester is going to look like. I mean, we'll do tryouts again. My guess is we're going to condense to 2 teams because some people are graduating and some people are going to be playing like Valorant, COD, um, and just whatever else. So that is
Oh,
my guess is we will have 2 teams, but um yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I might still be here. I'll probably still help out in some capacity. Um, but beyond that, I don't really know.
yeah, for sure. I mean, either way, the future's going to be looking bright, especially as UNI continues. They still got at least another semester here in the NECC because I think you guys pay out for the year, right?
Yeah, yep. Yes, we will be in the NECC. And I mean the goal is to play with NECC forever. Like not or as long as, it's here. Unless the teams really don't like it, but I think it's been good so far. And I think NECC, I've seen them take feedback, listen to feedback, and change things because of the feedback. So that gives me good hope for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
So kind of the last funny question that I would like to ask, since we've already did the milk question, what is your favorite smell?
Oh, okay. I know this one. So I am not a big coffee drinker. Like I'm like coffee's okay, but I love the smell of coffee. Like I don't like you walk into a coffee shop and it's just like, oh, coffee beans, I don't know, they just smell great. They smell amazing. I sometimes they taste okay if you put like milk and sugar and whatever else in there, but the smell of coffee is amazing. And I'll add one more smell. There is a lotion that smells like chocolate, just like cocoa butter lotion. I don't know. But there's one out there and it literally smells like chocolate. When I was in basic training, we would buy that because they had that and it was like crack, I swear. It was everyone was putting the chocolate lotion on their hands, on their legs, just like smelled like
I love
chocolate.
that. Joe, do you got a favorite smell?
Uh, I think the smell of like uh, I would say either freshly baked chocolate chip cookies or like
Oh,
baking apple pie are probably my favorite smells. I
Yeah.
really like the smell of freshly cut grass too.
See, and conversely, I used to be allergic to freshly cut grass, so whenever I smelled that, I used to like shut and lock the door. But I'm not that allergic to it anymore. But um, so for me, my favorite smell, I'm also going to borrow from both of you. is essentially, my favorite smell is coffee, but conversely, my favorite coffee shop smell is Sidecar. There you go. It's very oddly
Ah.
specific, but I do like the smell of Sidecar. Out of all the coffee shops that I go to, Sidecar is my favorite because you kind of smell that sort of kind of like a mix of like the dark roast, sort of kind of chocolate to the cinnamon kind of. I don't know if they just pump cinnamon through the vents, but that's just what I smell. And then my second favorite is actually um, freshly baked, just cookies in general, like Snickerdoodle. I don't know. Maybe I just really like cinnamon too. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. But like Snickerdoodle cookies, freshly baked Snickerdoodle cookies. Mwah. And then if I had to create an original idea, I'd go with fresh linen sheets because nothing better than crisp, clean sheets.
Fresh laundry.
All right. Well, Star Clana, the coach for both, I guess you're kind of like director of the program. So thank you for joining us for this interview. I know it was a really tough loss, but thanks for spending your evening with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for casting and doing this. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll head out now, but thank you for being here with us for the season.
Yep. Thank everybody for being here. Thanks for showing your support. Thanks for the Go Cats every stream. I think we got some Rocket League coming up to be determined. It was supposed to be tomorrow. I think it might still be. We don't know when. But yeah.
Yeah. So with that, if that, which it probably will happen, so keep an eye on that. Keep your eye on the UNI Panther Esports Discord for the notification of whenever we go live for that. But other than that, unfortunately, UNI's fall season ends here with a 3-1 loss against the Mizzou Club Bengals. For Joe, who's been working double duty, thank you so much for working double duty, Joe. I know
Of course.
it's really tough. I know I had a difficult time when I had to do that one time, but here you're doing it week in, week out. So thank you so much for being with me in the booth and doing production with me.
Of course. I love doing it. And I don't know, I like casting. So thanks for giving me the opportunity and thanks for helping me grow. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. Stick around. We'll have more postseason action tomorrow with the Rocket League team. For Joe, I'm Hunter. For UNI for the last time, thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Give me back my knife.